Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. So glad to have you here on this lovely Erev Shabbat. Feels like maybe there's going to be snow this weekend. It feels like this is really winter. This is, as you can see, the first Shabbat of 2024. We're really digging in here. We're going to begin our service by singing Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is when we can dwell together. Let's join together in singing. Well, we are going to light our Shabbat candles in just a moment, but before we do that, before Angelo does that in a few moments, I wanted just to mention that the Torah portion that we're reading from this week is called Torah portion Shemot, and Shemot is the beginning of the book of Exodus. This is a giant Torah portion. We have kind of the entire early life and midlife of Moses happening here. And before he was the leader of the Jewish people, Moses was a shepherd, as we know. One day while tending to his flock, he came upon a bush, you guys know the story, that was burning but not consumed. As Moses stared at that awesome sight, God spoke to him for the first time. So people usually explain that God used a burning bush to attract Moses' attention. But suppose that you were God and you could do anything you wanted to get somebody's attention. Split the Red Sea, make the sun stand still, a pillar of fire, you name it. Compared to such a spectacular display, a burning bush seems to be not so impressive. So why did God choose such a modest miracle? Perhaps the burning bush is not a miracle at all, but rather it was a test. God wanted to find out if Moses could see a miracle in something that was as ordinary as a bush on fire. In order to see it as a miracle, Moses had to watch the flames long enough to realize that the branches were burning but not consumed, that there was something special happening there. Once God saw that Moses could pay attention, God finally spoke to Moses. So tonight, as we celebrate this first Shabbat of our secular new year, may we be reminded how important it is to pay attention. We're in a world that is surrounded by so much darkness these days. The war continues, anti-Semitism is on the rise, we're seeing hate in unprecedented numbers. But if we look just a little bit harder, if we can pay attention to more than just our doom scrolling, we will certainly see that there are miracles happening around us every day. The smile of a beloved one, a kind word of from someone in need to someone in need, the support of a colleague or friend, an outstretched hand to someone who is down. People are constantly showing up for one another because that's what we do and it's who we are, and that's when we can see those miracles. They become part of our life every single day. All we have to do is open our eyes and truly, on this Shabbat and perhaps the rest of 2024, pay attention to the miracles around us. So now that we are going to pay attention to the miracle of adding more light into our world, Angelo is going to light our Shabbat candles for us. as we welcome in Shabbat on this first Shabbat of the book of Exodus. I'm going to turn down the lights. Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechad likner shel Shabbat. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Thanks, Ange. We want to ask if anybody has a January birthday. Do we have any January birthdays? We got a couple of January birthdays. I've got some prizes if you want them. Sam, when's your birthday? 28th. Oh, 30. All right. Congratulations. Richard, when's your birthday? That's fair. All right. Terrific. Happy birthday to you too. Anyone else have a birthday in January? Okay. When's his birthday? Hey, all right, that's coming up. That's great. Well, for all of these January birthdays, we're going to sing Yom Huledet Sameach and Happy Birthday. We'll see if I get a key or not. Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, aforementioned Jews. Happy birthday to you. Oh, nice result. We're going to, if anybody wants a birthday prize after the service, you know where to find me. All right, we're going to turn to Lecha Dodi as we welcome in Shabbat. I'm also going to invite us to welcome in a deep breath because I feel like we all just need it. Deep breath, welcome in a little bit of peace and calm on Shabbat. In the middle of this song, in the middle of this prayer, after we sing Shabbat Shalom, we'll have just a few moments to take a deep breath and to perhaps let a little bit of calm in, a little bit of joy, a little bit of holiness, a little bit of coloring, whatever is going to bring you some Shabbat Kiddusha, some Shabbat holiness, we'll do that. Let's join together in singing Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavla, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekavla, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom Umevorah. Sing with us, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom Umevorah. Let's take a few moments just to breathe. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom Umevorah. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Umevorah. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Let's read this together. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days, lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. I'll invite you, if you are able to rise, we'll invite you to please rise. We'll join together in singing the Baruch Hu. Let's read this English version of the Ma'ariv Aravim before we sing Shema. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Let's join together in singing Shema.
Shema Yisrael,
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol meodecha, v'hayu hadavarim ha'ela, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom alevavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu lo totafot bein einecha, uchtavtam amezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'item kedoshim lelohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lahem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. As I mentioned at the beginning of the service, we're beginning the book of Exodus in our Torah reading this week. We are starting the story of our people, how our people became a people. We're going kind of from the idea of a Jewish family to a Jewish people. And of course, we have that watershed moment as the Israelites crossed the sea and began life anew. I want to ask if you have something that you are thankful for, you'd like to share that with the congregation. Anybody have something that they're grateful for on this Erev Shabbat? Who's got something? Todd Sandler. Health. Amen to that. Health. Health is a good one. And what? And Green Bay. Oh.
My family.
Your family. That is so nice. All right, Eliza.
Reading.
Reading. Ooh, I love it. So nice. Yes, sir.
My house.
Ooh, house. That's a good one. That is a good one.
Sunday school.
Ooh, Sunday school. Good one.
Hoping Noah and Asher get better soon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Asher is better, and Noah is not sick yet, but we'll see. All right.
For my mommy.
Oh, that's so nice for your mom. She is also a good chair. Yes. All right.
My family.
Nice. Nice. They are great. Anybody else? Well, these are really lovely. Let me just run up and see if anyone on online is offering anything. Let's see here. Miriam says the support that she has had from her friends and neighbors and TBS family during this challenging time for her. And happy birthday to Gail Pavlovsky also. Anybody else? For all of these wonderful smachot, all of these wonderful joyous things in our life, let's join together in singing Mi Chamocha. You can find that on page 40 or up here on the screens. If you are able to rise and willing, we'll invite you to please rise as we turn to the Adonai Sifatai, the beginning of our Amidah prayers. Adonai Sifatai Tivtach Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, V'zocher haste avod v'imahot, umevi geula livnei v'nehem, L'ma'an shemo bi'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol atah rav lehoshia. Mechakel chayim b'chesed, mechaye hakol b'rachamim rabim. Sohomech noflim ve'rofech olim, umatir asurim, umechayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha b'gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'emana tal hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, v'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Amen. You may be seated, and we'll take just a few moments for some silent prayer. You could use the words in your prayer book on pages 54 through 60, or whichever words are in your heart on this Erev Shabbat.
Say shalom bimrama, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I've got a story for you this evening. And I want everyone here, if you could go ahead and please put on your Torah seatbelts, because it's going to get wild. On the first Friday of the month, you know, our minchag, our tradition is that we tell a story instead of a sermon or anything else. And the story that I want to tell you today is a very old story, but it's one of my very favorite stories. And I don't even know if I've ever told it here before. How crazy is that? Many, many years. So this story takes place a long time ago, very long time ago, when Moses was just a young baby. Now, we all know the story of baby Moses goes down the river in his basket, and he's rescued by Pharaoh's daughter. We know this. And then we don't see a lot about Moses' early life. Really don't see anything about Moses' early life in the Torah. The rabbis then had to do a lot of kind of creative thinking about what Moses' life might have been like growing up as kind of an adopted child of Pharaoh. Well, this story takes place when Moses is just a baby, and you can picture it's a normal
Sunday afternoon, and the whole family is hanging out in the royal throne room, which I'm assuming there was. And Pharaoh sees cute little baby Moses crawling around, and he picks up Moses, and he starts bouncing him on his knee, like people do with babies. It's very cute. And all of a sudden, little baby Moses notices the crown on Pharaoh's head, and he goes, and the little baby grabs the crown off his head, and he's just playing with it, having a good time, and everyone else in the room just got silent, because you don't take the crown off Pharaoh's head. And even Pharaoh didn't quite know what to make of the situation, but he didn't want to make it too awkward, so he said, ho, 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 very funny, Moses. This is my crown, it goes on my head. So they're playing some more. He's bouncing him around, having a good time, and all of a sudden, Moses looks up again. Before Pharaoh can even stop him, he grabs the crown. And Moses holds the crown. He puts the crown on his own head. He's just being, very silly, like a baby would be. And Pharaoh kind of excuses it, but a few moments later gathers some of his advisors around and says, "Hey guys, did anybody else see that? Moses took my crown. Does anybody else get a really bad feeling about that? Do you think is it a bad sign? Is he a threat to my kingdom?" And his advisors, Pharaoh's advisors, maybe not so bright, all very into superstition, said, "Yes, oh, definitely. This is a threat. He grabbed the crown. It's a clear sign that he's gonna threaten your reign. So we got to get rid of Moses. We got to get rid of that baby. Take him somewhere else." In this version of the story, take him somewhere else. So, but one of the advisors said, "Well, wait. What if he's just a baby looking at like a shiny thing, as babies like to do? Maybe we should set up a test for him." And the advisor said, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We should set up a test. Tests are awesome. Great." So they say, "Okay, we're gonna take Moses, take him upstairs, and we've got this nice table here. We're gonna put on the table a very shiny crown, the shiny crown right there, and we have all of these very hot, shiny coals that we just pulled out of the fire. These ones aren't that hot, but you can imagine the coals that they pulled out of the fire were very hot, and they put both of them down on the table in front of Moses. And they said, okay, now we'll know if Moses tries to grab the crown, we'll know that he's going for the crown, that he wants to take over the kingdom. But if he goes for the coal, we'll just know that he just likes shiny things. The coal was bright red. You can see this is pretty shiny coal. It might be foil, but in your imagination, it is foy coal. So the test commenced. They put Moses down in front of the table, and Moses' hand started going towards the crown. And according to this midrash, according to this story, then all of a sudden, an angel from God came down and moved Moses' hand to go and pick up the hot coal. He picked up a hot coal and put it right up to his tongue. And he burned himself, and that was really, really terrible. But in that moment, he did burn himself, but his life was saved. And the rabbis, everyone wonders, why does this story even exist? What's the purpose of it? Because from this point onward, Moses had a speech impediment. He couldn't speak very well. He wasn't, we picture him as this leader, kind of, maybe we're picturing Charlton Heston or whatever version of the Ten Commandments movie you've seen more recently, maybe Prince of Egypt or whatever. You're picturing kind of like a big, broad gentleman who can communicate well. That's not the Moses that we have in the Torah. The Moses that we have in the Torah says that he's slow of speech, and that he is not a great communicator. He's got to use his brother Aaron to help him. So one of the reasons that we think we might even have this whole story is because it's really important for us to remember that we are not perfect people. And even the mighty Moses, who is the greatest prophet of all time, even he is imperfect in that he doesn't speak as well as he wants to speak. He's got some other issues that we'll learn about later on in the Torah with some anger management stuff that we'll kind of figure that out. But I think it's a really, really beautiful story a beautiful message that comes out of this story, out of this midrash, is that we have to embrace our imperfection. And we have to say, it's okay for us, even though we're trying to be perfect. So many of us are trying our best to do everything exactly the way we want it to be, exactly the way we planned it out to be. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and that we should still look in the mirror and be proud of who we are, and that if Moses can be a vessel for God, so too can the imperfect people we are, so too can we be vessels for God and godliness and goodness. So that is a little message for today. If you see a hot coal, don't put it in your mouth. Kids, I'm talking to you guys. Sadie, I see you're looking at the hot coals. Don't put them in your mouth. You're not going to want to do that. But hopefully we can all try and look past perfection and see if we can just be a little bit kinder and a little bit more accepting and a little bit more open in this coming year. That is, will make the world a better place for sure. So one of the ways that we can do that, turning back in our service, is through our prayers. We have a Mishaberach Lecholim, a prayer for those who are in need of healing. We have a number of folks who are on our temple list here. And if you have some names to add to this list, I'll invite you to do that when I'm finished reading it. On this Shabbat at Temple Beth Shalom, we are thinking for healing of Nancy Ashley, Lori Barr, Sarah Bates, Margie Block, John Bratta, Anthony Castillo, Ann Clark, Bruce Cohen, Mia Cooley, Ella Dubrow, Marilyn Friedman, Alan Goldberg, Carolyn Goldmark, Beth Jasalowitz, Yuri Hoiker, Dan Lang, Minna Melton, Phyllis Miles, Lisa Pena, Ian Phillips, Rashi Pristowski, Stanley Radin, Jessica Rathkoff, Steve Rubenstein, Pam Shear, Ralph Sauer, Reed Wasserstrom, Fred Weiner, Ozzie Zimmer, and Shelley Zimmerman. I ask if there are other names of folks who are in need of healing. You can share the names aloud if you want, or just say them in your hearts as well. Thank you. You have one, Cass? Any other names? Oh, we also have, we also have Roy Bryant, Rosemary Worm, Pete Bowman, Larry Harris. On their behalf and on behalf of all those who are perhaps suffering in silence or suffering in solitude, we sing our Misha Barach prayer and hope that the prayer reaches them and lifts them when they need the lift. We'll join together in singing Misha Barach. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shleima, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, We're
thinking also of Nancy B. We're going to turn to Aleinu, which you can find on page 282 or up here on the screen, and we'll invite you, if you are able, to please rise.
L'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atid gidula leotzer bereshit, shelo asana kagayei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei HaMachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, U'shemo Echad.
The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candle, as life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down in gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. On this Shabbat at Temple Beth Shalom, we are remembering the recent loss of a number of loved ones from our community. We are thinking lovingly of Nancy Baum, Gisela Canast, Neil Karen, Mike Butts, Bernie Cohn, and Allison Lee Smith, all of whom have recently taken from our midst. And we remember those who died of this season in years past, and we take them into our hearts with our own. On this Shabbat, we are remembering the yahrzeits of Bert Alper, Mark Umdursky, Julia Barlev, Leon Beck, Alice Bering, Terry Brandenburg, Fanny Schilling-Cohn, Ira Cooper, Gabriel Cuno, Saul Danchik, Doris Dreyfus, Matilda Dreyfus, Morris Dreyfus, Dorothy Dubin, Sarah Hackney, Norman Sidney Kahn, Ronald Kaplansky, Sidney Kleiman, Dave Lurie, Ron Miles, Paul Phelan, Betty Pinsky, Kurt Schaefer, Cheryl Sokol, Jack Taub, Leo Weinberg, and Walter Wixter. Are there other names of folks who we are remembering for Kaddish this evening? I see Leo Cohn as well is listed. On their behalf and on behalf of all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we turn to page 294 and recite our Kaddish prayer together. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'yizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudasham b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God send comfort to all who are mourning and peace to all who are bereaved. And together we say, amen. You may be seated. And we have a few announcements from Bobby, and they're on the screen. So fancy. All right.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this cold Friday. This Sunday, January 7th, is the first session of American Jewish History with Carol Hirsch at 11 a.m. at the New Albany JCC. The class will run through January and February. This Tuesday, January 9th, we welcome back Haviv Rediger from the Times of Israel. And if you haven't participated in any of the previous sessions with Haviv, he is truly fantastic. You always learn something from Haviv. Again, that is Tuesday, January 9th at 1 p.m. on Zoom. Moving into February, we are thrilled to welcome back our very own Dr. Richard Prostowski, who will be continuing his Holocaust Studies series, and that will be Tuesday evenings in February at 6 p.m. here at the Temple. All of these classes are available to TBS members free of charge. Later this month, we have a bunch of affinity group meetings going on from the TBS Gamers group. You can talk to, where is Jacob? Jacob, you can talk to Jacob about that. We have a brand new group, Crafting Crew, which is knitting and all sorts of fiber arts if you're interested in that. And we also have our ongoing programs like monthly Juicy Jewish Topics and Lunch Bunch. One final note, programming note, Rabbi Benji will be on sabbatical January 11th through February 12th. So for any pastoral or rabbinic needs, please be in touch with Rabbi Lynette.
Everywhere.
For all of this and more, please visit ShowCloud, check out the e-window, give us a call, shoot us an email, we'll help you out. With all of that, Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for making TBS your Jewish home. Rabbi?
Shabbat Shalom is right. There's a lot of really great stuff coming up, so hopefully you'll join us for some of these programs. I like, by the way, crafting and fiber arts. That sounds very, very fancy. I thought that was just for digestion. All right, we're going to do Kiddush and Motzi, and then we'll do our closing song of Am Yisrael Chai, which has just kind of become our standard in these past 91 days. Let's join together in Kiddush. Anybody want to drink the Manischewitz? Any takers? Any adults, I should say? Any takers? Cooper, not yet. Not yet. In a couple years. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Join us downstairs if you'd like. There's dinner downstairs, or you can relax here, whatever you'd like. Shabbat Shalom.